Okay, so thank you all for being here on this opening morning of Let's Grieve. This is the first time that we have ever done this virtual summit, and I am just so honored and thrilled to be sharing this space with you. My name is Sarah Brown. I have the great honor of being the Grief Support Network's Executive Director and your host for the weekend. I first and foremost just want to thank all of you for being here. You are the change makers. You are the ones that are saying enough to these cultural stigmas that we are all faced with in grief, embracing each individual grief journey and making room for all of the feels that come along with it. You are the ones that are doing better for healing, for showing up for yourselves, your neighbors, your friends, your loved ones, and for saying, let's grieve. So this summit has been a labor of love since its inception. We have been dreaming on it for many years, and it is finally here. This is our mission in action. Our mission is to transform the way that individuals in our culture experience loss, and that's exactly what we're doing here over these next 3 days. Some of you are already going, but if you would like to put your name, location, and maybe what brought you here to the summit or which session you're most excited about, please go ahead and put that in the chat. I do see them coming in. We have folks from Colorado, Michigan, lots of Colorado. That's where we're based and we're born and bred. So welcome everyone. And we'll read some more of those as we go along throughout the weekend. I do want to give you all a few housekeeping items to keep in mind over the next 3 days, and I will be reiterating these before each session just to keep everything tight and safe and secure. This space is truly intended to be a brave, safe space free of judgment and hate and harm. So the chats are open, but they are not intended for crosstalk. If anyone is abusing this function, please know that they will be removed. We do not make space for that here. You are free to have your videos on or off, but please know that if we are doing a practice, it really helps the facilitator keep you safe as they instruct you into different poses or other things that we're working through with breath work and that sort of thing, if they can see your physical bodies. And lastly, please remain on mute unless otherwise asked. We will have some spaces for live Q&As throughout the weekend, but most of what we'll be doing will be through the chat. We do expect to have about 400 people throughout the weekend, so these groups will get quite large. Everything is recorded and will be shared with you all next week after the sessions have wrapped. So no worries if you miss a session, it will be there for you to reference later. And all of these practices will be there for you to come back to. Today, we will be exploring a few different practices like Wendy's morning meditation and yoga asana. We'll also be doing journaling and yoga nidra later this afternoon. We are also going to be hearing from mentors in the grief space, starting with creating a grief altar, working towards grieving in community, space holding, and grief and our nervous systems. So that is our lineup for today, a great first day and introduction into this work that we're doing and what we'll be providing throughout the summit. And as we begin each day, I'm going to be opening with a very simple ritual that was shared with me by a friend and peer and one of our mentors today, Willow Miley. I'm going to be lighting 3 candles in each morning session, and they will be burning with us throughout the day. Between each candle, if you would all join me in a nice deep cleansing breath, that would be wonderful. This first candle represents, acknowledges, and respects all past beings. So I light this candle, honoring all past beings. This second candle recognizes, honors, and respects all present beings. And this third and final candle represents, honors, and respects all future beings. If you would like me to join, if you would like to join me in that ritual each morning, please feel free to bring your own candles over the next couple of days, and they will be burning with us throughout the whole weekend. Okay, so let's jump in. In this opening morning of Let's Grieve, we are so excited and honored to have our founder of the Grief Support Network, Wendy Blackstern, leading us in a guided meditation and yoga asana this morning. Wendy has been a great mentor and friend and loved one in my life since I met her 4 years ago. And she will just lead us in such a beautiful way and practice this morning. She is really at the center of the Grief Support Network and has built the foundation for this really beautiful organization. I will let her tell you her story. She will be joining us later for the lecture on grieving and community, and I believe that is probably where she'll get into that a little more. But Wendy is also the founder of the Center for Somatic Grieving, which houses all of these mindful grieving practices under their roof in a training school, retreats, and just a really beautiful network of facilitators that she's trained. Yeah, Wendy, I'm going to pass the baton over to you. Let you take it from here. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and enjoy our first practice together.
Hi, everyone. So nice to be here with you today. Thank you, Sarah, for your beautiful introduction. And thank you for putting this together and creating this and bringing us together. As Sarah said, this is something that's been dreamed on for quite some time, and it feels really special to watch it kind of come into fruition and to be here with you all today. It truly is an honor to be a part of this. And we're going to go right into our first seated practice this morning. And I want to say before we even enter in, the whole intention of this is really a space to just connect inside, to kind of check in and to kind of figure out where we're at, what we're feeling, and to have a space to transition, come from whatever it is that's happening in our lives into our own internal space. So this is how we'll begin each of these beautiful days of like taking in information and all these speakers and just this community. We start with ourselves by like getting grounded and connected inside. So that's what we're doing here. And again, it really is an honor to be here with you today. So I'm going to invite you all to find a comfortable seat for yourself. And you're welcome to lean against a wall. If you're sitting on a couch, either have the soles of your feet on the earth, so you're making contact with something solid, or you can cross your legs and give your spine a little more length. If you're sitting on a cushion, I'm going to offer just a little lesson on kind of how we use a cushion, because it's not always obvious. So if you can see my body, I'm going to turn so you can see me. And so if I were to sit, fully on the cushion, my back is kind of rounded and it's not really doing what it's supposed to do. So if you're going to use a cushion or pillow, you want to sit on the edge of it, so it tips the bowl of your pelvis forward. And that gives you a little more space for your spine to lengthen. So then there's that natural curve of our spine. And again, if you're sitting in a chair, you can just let your back lean against that chair or sit forward. And same for a couch. So take a moment to get yourself settled and to find a position that we can be in for a few minutes here. And once you do, I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. And you take a few moments, you can kind of wiggle around if you need to, and just to begin to land here in this space. Taking this time to transition from your day, maybe your morning, to a space that's inside, where you can simply receive yourself as you are. Feeling your sitting bones, sinking down into the earth, or maybe the soles of your feet are pressing down and rooting you. And from that foundation, allowing your spine to lengthen and beginning to bring awareness now to your breath. Noticing the way that your breath is moving in your body. Noticing the sensation of your breath as it comes all the way in and then as it moves back out again. And taking a few moments to just sink in here with your own natural rhythm. Knowing that there's no need to control your breath or to have it be any particular way. Your breath is an entryway or a doorway to come into deeper connection with yourself. So in this practice, we're just simply noticing. You may notice the way that your body receives your breath. Places inside where it may feel open or receptive. And also places where it may feel tight or constricted. And again, the invitation is to just simply notice. And with the next few breaths, I invite you to bring your awareness into your physical body and to let your awareness begin to move throughout your body. So in this time, we're just checking in, noticing sensations, noticing thoughts or feelings, noticing perhaps where you're feeling your grief in your body today. Knowing that there's nothing here you need to change or fix, and there's no right or wrong way to feel. In this moment, we're just simply noticing what is. So as your awareness moves throughout your body, as you explore the inner landscape of your body, I invite you to let your awareness come to where you are perhaps feeling the most sensation, or a place that is maybe devoid of sensation. The place in your body that is speaking the loudest. And then to give that your attention, to invite your full presence to this place inside. And to take a few moments to breathe here and to let this sensation perhaps get a little bit bigger, to feel it more, and to even lean in towards that sensation. And as you do, to notice what is the emotion that you're feeling here. What is the felt sense? And if there are a lot of things that you're feeling in there, maybe you may notice, what are you feeling the most? What is the most primary emotion? And to take a few breaths with that. And to whatever extent that it's possible today, to perhaps let that emotion get a little bigger and to lean in towards it, again, as a way to just feel it and to know it, to acknowledge it. And with your next few breaths, you can let your awareness shift to check in with your mental body, noticing your thoughts, noticing what your mind has to say about what you're feeling in your body. And to practice being a witness here for your mind. Noticing thoughts as they arise. Noticing and then just letting it be. Returning to your breath. And taking another few breaths here. If you find your mind wandering, that's okay. Just use your breath to come back home. And with your next few breaths now, we'll shift again. This time, checking in with your spiritual body, which is that part of our being that just knows without thinking, place of connection to your higher self. This place that we have lots of different names for. Sometimes we may call this source or the universe or God or our higher self. And I invite you to kind of explore yourself or check in with yourself through this lens, the lens of your spiritual body. This is a part of our being that is our essence, perhaps part of you that called you here today. I invite you to just bask here in the presence of this part of yourself and to notice what you feel. This is often the part of our being that holds our resilience, that holds that flicker of flame that keeps us going when things are hard. And just another few breaths here. And then as you're ready, letting your awareness come to your whole body, your whole self. Feeling yourself connected as the whole being that you are. And from this place, I invite you to set an intention for yourself for your practice this morning. What would you like to receive from this time? Or perhaps what are you wanting to create or bring forward? When that intention kind of arises, I invite you to take what we call a falling out breath into that. And with this breath, we take a deep breath in through your nose. And then exhale with a sigh, letting your breath fall out. You can do that again. Breath in And on the exhale, letting your jaw hang down. And let's do that just one more time. In, and perhaps letting a sound come out. And then as you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and come back. Just taking a few moments to kind of orient yourself back to our collective space. And thank you all for your practice. And in a moment, we're going to shift to our yoga mats and move right into some asana. But I just want to name, the power of kind of being here in the collective together. It's one thing to sit on our own and to check in as we just did, but there's also something we can feel when we do that together, when we meditate and we practice together. So yoga and meditation offer us this amazing individual space to check in, to feel, to know ourselves, but also a collective container, which is so much of the heart of the Grief Support Network's work, is this collective container that also unites us. So we're going to kind of take that beginning of connection here that we've created by simply sitting together. And we're going to bring that onto our yoga mats and move into our practice. So you're welcome to grab some blocks if you have, or big books work just as well. If you have a blanket or a bolster, there's nothing that you absolutely need, but anything that supports you to kind of lean in and to be supported. I'm going to give you a moment to get yourself set up. If you're okay to keep your cameras on, it helps me to see you. If not, I totally understand, and it's okay. And I'm just going to get myself set up here too. And we'll move into our asana. So we're going to start seated here on our mat together. So you can come to a comfortable seated position as you're ready. Let your hands just rest on your knees. You're welcome to sit on your mat or on a blanket if that's comfortable. And as we give another moment for everyone to arrive, you can even close your eyes and just begin to sink into your body. So much of this practice is just simply feeling what we feel. With your hands on your knees, with an inhale, we're going to come into a spinal flex and arch our back. Send your gaze up as your heart moves forward. And then with an exhale, you can round your spine. Let your chin come towards your chest and your navel moves in towards your spine. And we're just taking a few moments to warm up our bodies here. With an inhale, opening, arching, extending. And with an exhale, gently drawing awareness back in towards yourself as you round your spine, squeezing out your breath. With an inhale, we'll come forward. With an exhale, we'll round and go in, and just continuing to move back and forth at your own pace in your own way, letting the inhale create a little more opening in space, and your exhale be an invitation to look within, to squeeze out your breath. And as you move back and forth, letting your spine just have a little bit of movement here, finding a little bit of fluidity. Another few breaths, inhaling forward and exhaling back. Next time you come forward, inhale, you can lengthen your spine, let your shoulders even draw up towards your ears, and then exhale them back and down, bringing your fingertips to touch the earth. And taking a moment with your hands on the earth to close your eyes and to root down and to ground yourself into this amazing support system that is Mother Earth. Taking a moment to just lean into that sensation. And especially when we're grieving, we need this solid place to return to again and again. So the earth itself has got you. With your next breath, with an inhale, extend your left arm up. And with an exhale, extending over towards your right. You can draw your left shoulder back, finding a little more extension, and then exhale, coming in a little bit deeper, coming to where you can find an edge Let your left sitting bone root you down. And then from there, letting your side body begin to open. You can let your elbow bend, or you can keep your arms straight, just seeing what works best for you. Letting your heart gently spiral up towards the sky. And with an inhale, come back up. And exhale, let your left arm release back down. Inhale, both shoulders come up to your ears, and exhale them back and down. Both hands return to the earth. Inhale, your right arm comes up. And with an exhale, having it come over towards the left now. Again, cap of your right shoulder comes back. Right sitting bone roots you down. And then from that foundation, maybe deepening just a touch. Finding your edge. Your heart can gently rotate towards the sky. So there's a little bit even of a twist here as we create a little more opening. Few more breaths. Rooting down as you reach towards your edge. Inhale. We'll come back to center. Arm comes up, and exhale, your right arm down. Inhale, both shoulders up, and exhale them back and down. Both fingertips return to the earth. And taking a moment to pause and to notice what you feel. Next breath. Inhale, both arms up. Your palms will touch overhead. And with an exhale, we're going to take a gentle twist to the right. Left hand to the outside of right knee, right fingertips to the earth. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, twist a little bit deeper over your right shoulder. And as you do, you can let your eyes look all the way to the right. This is your drishti, or your gaze. And your eyes itself will guide you deeper. Taking a few more breaths here, gently releasing through your spine. And each time we twist, we have an invitation to integrate whatever it is that's happening in the moment. A thought, a feeling. Next breath. Then inhale, let both arms sweep back up. Palms touch. And exhale, now shifting to your left. Left fingertips to the earth. Right hand to left knee or left thigh. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And with an exhale, twisting deeper towards the left. This time letting your eyes, your drishti, come all the way to the left, out the left side of your eyes, guiding you a little bit deeper. Each inhalation, finding a little more length. And then with the exhale, maybe even micro movements, we deepen. Staying with your breath. And letting your breath be what guides you gently deeper into the pose. Next breath, we'll come back. Inhale, arms rise up again. And then hands come straight to your heart. And as you meet yourself at your heart here, taking a moment to even close your eyes and to notice what you feel. You can even bring your palms flat on your heart so you can feel your heart beating. Each time we return to our heart center, it's an invitation to come home to yourself. Just another moment or two to notice what's happening now. And with your next few rounds of breath, you can gently shift, coming onto your hands and your knees. And with your hands stacked underneath your shoulders and your knees beneath your hips, take a few moments to begin to move your hips into some circles. Just going to invite a little bit of free movement to just get acquainted with ourselves, to check in with what you're feeling in your body. So your hips can come into little circles or big circles. You may bring your spine into the movement, even your head or your neck. Checking in, inviting some curiosity into your body. And then we'll all meet together into a neutral spine. Spread your fingers wide. shoulders over your wrists. And with an inhale, can arch your back, send your gaze forward. And with an exhale, round your back. Again, supporting your spine. Inhale, arching, sending your heart forward. Exhale, rounding, drawing navel in towards your spine as you press the top of your spine towards the ceiling. A few more. Inhaling, the cat's breath, and then exhaling. Inhale, come back to a neutral spine. And from here, we're going to extend our left arm out either to the side, or if this feels good in your body, to even come into a gentle twist here. And then from here, we're going to loop our left hand underneath our right and come onto your left shoulder. Left ear can come to the ground. If the ground feels really far away, this is a great place to put a block or a blanket even. You can bring the earth a little bit closer with a block, so your head can even rest on that. And then from here, use your right fingertips to begin to steer your heart open into a twist. You can keep your fingers on the earth, or you can extend your right arm up overhead. You're also welcome to just let the weight of your body rest on your left shoulder, and for that to be absolutely enough. So lots of different options here that we can explore. You're also welcome to bring your right hand into a half bind to reach behind your back. So lots of different ways to move and to be. And the invitation here is to feel. So whichever variation you're choosing, send your breath right into your body. With each breath, gently opening your heart, twisting towards the sky. And taking another few breaths, you're welcome to bring any movement into your right extended arm. And then as you're ready, you can let your right arm come back down if it's extended. And then we're going to begin to extend the left arm out and let that come back open into a twist again. Come out the way you came in, left hand back to the ground. Take one round of cat-cow, finding a neutral spine again. Inhaling and exhaling. And coming back to center. And this time your right arm will extend out or up. And then sliding right hand under the left, come onto your right shoulder. Sometimes the weight of our bodies is just enough. That may be enough sensation. Or you can bring your left fingertips to the earth and begin to spiral your heart open a little bit more. Next level is to extend your left arm up. And then after that, if you want a little more, you can interlace it behind your back, coming into a bind. So finding your variation, the one that serves you best. So as you come into the pose, I invite you to really land there, to lean in towards the sensation in your body. And to whatever extent that it's possible, to feel it a little bit more. Another breath or two. And as we're ready now, we will slide right arm out, and we'll come out the way we came, open it back up, and then exhale, right hand next to left. One more round of cat-cow here. Inhaling and then exhaling. Inhaling to a neutral spine here. And with an exhale, curling your left ear towards your left hip, making a C shape with your body. Gently stretching through the side of your neck. Inhale back to center and exhale to the right. Right ear to right hip. Inhale, come through center. This time, as we inhale to arch our back through cat's breath, I'm going to offer two variations for transition. One is to curl your toes under and to press back into our first downward facing dog. Another option is to keep your knees on the earth and extend your arms forward into Anahatasana, also known as puppy pose, and to let your heart melt down towards the earth. And then there's lots of other variations from here. You're always welcome to use a wall or a chair, but I invite you to find your variation of beginning to open and explore through the rest of your body. If you're in downward dog, you can pedal through your heels, checking in with your legs. You can bend your knees and send your heart back towards your thighs, keeping your hands so deeply rooted on the earth. And then with the next few rounds of breath here, we're going to find our way towards the front of our mat. So if you're in downward dog, you can bend your knees a lot and then take some little steps, noticing the way you transition towards the front. If you are here in Anahatasana or puppy pose, you can bring yourself back to your hands and knees, and you can find your way towards your feet. And we're all going to meet at the front of our mat in a pretty wide-legged forward fold, so your feet can be hip distance apart. Give yourself a lot of space. Your knees can be soft. And you can either hold your elbows here or bring your hands to the nape of your neck to round down, letting your body release down over two straight, strong legs. And as you do, you can use your breath to gently deepen here. You can lift and spread your toes, again, remembering that foundation. And with each exhale, maybe deepening in a little bit more. You can bend your knees now, let your hands come towards the earth. Your chest will come towards your thighs into a fetal position. And then very gently, we'll begin to come up to standing. And as we do, it's almost like a seed form that begins to unfurl. Let your arms sweep out to the side and up, feeling the length of your body reaching up towards the sky. And then your palms will meet above. Let your thumbs touch the crown of your head in a blessing. Your third eye, this is the place of our own intuition and knowing. And then meet you right here at your heart. And as you arrive at your heart once again, pause here and notice what's happening now. Take a deep breath in and exhale down into the earth. Next breath, inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Arms will rise up. With an exhale, we'll side bend again. Let your left arm reach up and over. Inhale, come back to center, both palms touch. And exhale, left arm comes down, right arm reaches up and over towards the right. Inhale, come through center again. Let your palms come into a cactus pose here. Fingers are spread wide. And with an exhale, rounding in, bringing your awareness in towards yourself. Let your forearms come in towards each other. So connecting in with your own center. And then from here, we'll pulsate out and we'll radiate out into the collective, into community. With an inhale, we come back in, tending to self, finding connection. Then exhale, we radiate out and we come into the collective, into our community. We get to open our hearts here. We'll do that a few more times. And you can even bend your knees to exaggerate as we go. So it's a real pulling in, connecting to self, then radiate out, connecting with each other, knowing that we're not alone in this. One more time. Inhale, going all the way in, feeling into your own container of self. With an exhale, we come into connection and we share that container, that collective space together. Inhale, palms touch overhead. And exhale, hands back to your heart. And again, meeting yourself right here and noticing what you feel. You can keep your feet hip distance apart, or if you like, you can bring your big toes to touch. Hands at your heart. And with an inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Let your palms touch overhead. And with an exhale, let your arms open wide as you come all the way down to a forward fold here. Inhale to a halfway lift. And with an exhale, we're going to bend our knees and we're going to step our left leg back into a lunge. And we'll take a few moments to just explore our hips. You're welcome to drop left knee to the ground at any time. Hands can come to either side of your right foot. Blocks are great here to give you a little more space for the floor to come a little closer. And you can just shift back and forth, extending-ish your right leg, letting your left thigh descend, and just inviting even a little playfulness in your body here. Just exploring what's happening in your legs and your hips. And another breath or so. We will find ourselves back in lunge. This time, left knee can drop towards the earth. Fingertips on the ground so your left thigh descends a little bit more. And you can walk your hands up to your right thigh. If that doesn't feel stable, you're welcome to keep your hands on the ground. But to find a deeper expression now, crescent lunge. So leaning in, letting your left thigh descend, letting your heart open. If you want to bring this a little bit deeper, then you can let your arms come up overhead and come into a back bend. Finding your expression of crescent lunge. Another few rounds of breath, keeping the back of your neck long. Taking a moment to notice your heart space as we create a little more opening. With an exhale, we're going to release. And we're going to shift your left knee back a touch and work to bring your right leg towards straight. You're also welcome to sit on your left heel if that feels more accessible, or to keep your left knee right under your left hips. And then just gently let your heart extend forward as you extend over that straight right leg. So you can flex your right foot and then press through the ball of your right foot. Finding a little bit of strength here as the right hip comes back a touch. And then finding extension over that right leg. A few more breaths here. Coming right to your edge, which is that place of sensation but not pain. Place that invites our full presence. Next breath will release. We'll find our way back to our lunge. So left knee can stay on the ground or it can lift. Hands come to either side of your right foot. And from here, we're going to step our right leg back. So you can either do this through hands and knees, or you can do it through a full plank position. So see where your energy's at this morning. And from here, whichever way you choose, we're going to lower to the earth. Elbows will staying close to your side, coming all the way onto your belly. And from here, let your arms come wider than your sticky mat and press down to the tops of your feet. Come onto your fingertips. And we're going to inhale and rise up into a very wide cobra. So shoulders draw back, heart lifts. Very wide cobra here. Let your right shoulder dip towards the earth. Right temple, or the side of your right head will move towards the earth. Elbows stay lifted. And then with an inhale, we'll rise back to center. This wide open cobra. Exhale now, left temple or left side of your head will release towards the ground. And then inhale, rise up again. Exhale, releasing forehead now to the ground. Hands now come underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide, press them into the earth. Press down to the tops of your feet and your pelvis. And with an inhale, we'll rise up into one cobra pose here, this posture of emergence. So drawing your heart forward between your hands, keeping the back of your neck long, and opening. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, rise back to hands and knees. And if you like, perhaps even pressing back into downward dog. So again, feeling into your energy, either downward dog here for a few rounds of breath, or walking your hands forward again into this puppy pose and letting your forehead descend towards the earth. A few more breaths. And from here, we'll find our way back towards the front of our mat. So you can curl toes under and take that little walk to the front of the mat again. And finding our way into forward fold. Big toes can touch, or your feet can be wide hip distance apart. Inhale, soften your knees as you rise up. Arms reach out and up, palms touch. And exhale, hands at your heart. As we return to top of our mat, as we return to our heart space, it's an invitation to check in, to notice what you feel. And with the next round of breath, we'll inhale, sweep our arms out and up. This time, let your hands come down through that central channel of your body. So you're almost drawing an imaginary line through that center of your body, all the way down, bowing to yourself back to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Let your hands perhaps come up your thighs so your spine can lengthen and your heart can extend. And then bending your knees, bring your hands to the earth, and this time stepping your right leg back. Finding lunge. And then from here, your right knee can come to the ground, and then just shifting back and forth, just feeling into your legs. And letting this movement be as big or as small as you like. Shifting, you can close your eyes so you can really feel. And the next time you come forward on your mat, keeping your right toes curled under, you can walk your hands up to your right thigh. Interlace your hands over your left thigh, and then letting your left knee descend over, come over your left ankle even, and your right thigh will descend towards the earth. So finding a deeper expression here, drawing your navel in. You can even bring your hand to your lower belly to help pull that back in as you deepen. And you can keep your hands right here, or you can inhale them up overhead and find a gentle back bend. A moment to pause and to feel. Meeting yourself right where you are. Next breath, we'll gently release. Hands back to the earth. Your right knee can step back a touch. And then your left leg can come towards straight. Keep drawing the left hip crease back. You can flex your left toes towards your body and then press to the ball of your left foot. On fingertips here, gently releasing down over that your extended left leg. And once you arrive here, you can go inside. And again, meeting yourself right on the edge, right with the sensation itself. Another few breaths. Next breath when you're ready. Come back into our lunge this one last time. And this time, we're going to come back to standing. So you can either take one big step, press off your left foot, let your right foot come to meet it, or you can take as many steps as you need to move that right foot towards your left. Take your time. And we'll come back into forward fold for a breath. And then softening your knees again. Inhale, we'll rise up. And as you do, each time we rise up, we get to feel the strength in our own body, strength of our legs to take us throughout our life. Exhale, hands to heart. In the way that we stand here on the earth, It's the power of our standing postures. Take a moment to bring your hand to your heart again. One palm touches your heart. The other hand can come right over that hand. Take a few rounds of breath and notice what you feel. And with your next breath now, we're going to come into a standing pose. You can step your left leg back. And the outer edge of your left foot will match the narrow end of your sticky mat. So it's parallel. Your right foot will face forward. You can bring your hips to square out towards the center. Let your arms come open and then bending your right knee over your right ankle. And then sending your gaze over your right fingertips. So we'll find warrior 2 here. Keeping your hips open, arms straight, gaze over your right fingertips. And as your right knee deepens to come over your right ankle, keep opening your hips to square towards center. And then spreading your fingers wide to let the light inside of you extend out from you in all directions. A few breaths here, finding a steady gaze. Feeling your feet solid on the earth, and the energy from the earth is what's supporting you, leaning into that. And with your next breath, your left hand can come down your left leg. Right arm will reach over into a side stretch, and then straightening your right leg. From here, we're going to reach towards the right. We're going to find triangle pose. So finding that reach first, so right side body stays nice and long. Your right hand can come to your right leg or to a block on the outside of your right leg, and your left arm will come up. So drawing the cap of your right shoulder down, left shoulder comes to meet it. Feet root into the earth. Keep a little micro bend in your right knee and drawing that towards your right pinky toe as your right sitting bone scoops under your left. And then finding extension through your side bodies. So you can almost imagine you're drawing up long D-socks, as my old teacher used to say. Drawing the energy up into your center and then extending it out through your limbs, through your hands, your feet, crown of your head. It's a posture we get to radiate who we are from our center out in all directions. Head can go where it wants. You can look up, or if that's harder, your neck, it can come down. And then with your next breath, soften your right knee. And we're going to rise up into 5-pointed star. So we're going to get really big and take up a little space on our mat. Getting big, letting that sensation of radiating out grow a little bigger. Taking up space in this moment in your life. And then letting your heels come in, your toes come out as we come into a Malasana squat. And from this, we're going to just shift back and forth and just get a little curious in our bodies. What's happening in your hips and your pelvis this morning. And then as we move towards center, drop your right shoulder down. Inhale, look over your left. Exhale, drop your left shoulder down. Inhale, look over your right. Exhale, come back to center. And for one breath, we're going to come up into goddess or God pose, where we get to just feel our power, especially when we're going through loss. There's an opportunity to connect in with our resilience to these shapes we create with our body. We feel our feet and our legs supporting us, fingers spread wide. Yes. Become that goddess or God, the figure of big energy and strength. Inhale, rise up. Get a little bit bigger, 5-pointed star. And then with the next breath, we're going to shift to the other side. So you can let your left foot face out towards the left, right foot turns in. Find your arms open wide, and then bending right knee to come right over your right ankle. Keep extending through your arms, and your gaze can come over your left fingertips. Keeping your hips open here and feeling into the way that you are standing in your life right now. Feeling into what it is required of you to stand into your life. Doesn't have to look a certain way. There's so much permission here to be messy, to not feel strong. In these postures, we get to really feel into our true experience and also invite energy into us. We share that to support us to keep going. Next breath, we can reverse our warrior. Right hand comes down your right leg, left arm reaches over, left knee bends a little bit more, and then straightening your left leg. Finding big open side stretch here. Feeling that in your body. And then extending to the left. Left arm reaches, left side body lengthens until your left hand comes to your left leg or to a block to the outside of your left leg. And then your right arm can come up. It's too much for your right arm. It's also okay to have it come out to the side. So just playing with your variation, keeping a little micro bend in your left knee, drawing left sitting bone underneath, putting your light out in all directions, drawing that energy from the earth up into your center, and then from there, radiating out, feeling that in the collective. Breathing, keep pressing your feet into the earth. It will support you. If you find yourself trembling or shaking, that is your body letting go. Just another few breaths. Meeting yourself exactly where you are. From here, we're going to rise up one more time. Press into your feet. 5-pointed star. In this posture, we get to feel our bigness. To let it all hang out here. And then bring your hands to your hips. Turn your toes in, heels out. Draw your shoulders back and down. And then we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. As we shift forward with a flat back, you can bring your hands to the ground, or they may want to come to a block. Bring the ground a little closer to you. Lots of options here to go a little deeper. If you want to come down even deeper, hands to the earth, your head can come to a block. You're also welcome to find some other variations here. You can interlace your hands behind your back, drawing your shoulders in towards each other for a hard opening stretch. Another few breaths here. Each exhale is an invitation for letting go. And each inhalation is a recommitment, a reconnection to what's happening now, to ourselves, to the moment we're in. Next breath can soften your knees again. Bring your hands back to your hips and inhale, rise back up. We'll find that 5-pointed star one more time. And we're going to shift again to the front of our mats now. We're going to find warrior 2 just for a moment as we then let our left arm cartwheel down. We're going to square our right foot. Drop your left knee to the earth. And we will press right knee back either to hands and knees, or you may find plank. And we're going to once again lower to the earth. Coming all the way onto your bellies here. This time, with forehead on the earth, let your arms come back behind you. Top of the feet come to the earth. And take a moment to feel your whole body here supported. Whole body. And then with your next breath, I'm going to lift your legs and perhaps your arms up off the ground. Finding Shalabhasana. Extending back. And imagine you're almost flying through space. Palms can face the earth here. Shoulders lift up. Finding a back bend here. Breathing into this opening. Few breaths here. Finding more length than lift here. So getting long. And then with an exhale coming down, and you can turn your right ear to the mat. And let your body relax. A few breaths here, you may feel your heart beating. Just inviting some release. And with the next breath, you can bring forehead to the earth again. And you can either work with that same variation of Shalabhasana, or you can interlace your hands behind your back and work with a chest expander variation. If you do, draw your knuckles together. You can bring a little micro bend in your elbows so your forearms draw in. And with the breath in, then exhale, we'll rise back up. And finding extension here. We open our hearts. What do we notice? In the back of your neck long. Inviting full presence here. With your next breath, let's come back down again. This time, turn your left ear to the mat and let yourself release. Welcome to shake your hips back and forth. They want a little bit of movement. Another breath or two to pause and to look within. Forehead back to the earth. And we're going to take one more back bend here. So you're welcome to work with either the first two variations, Shalabhasana, or with our hands extended, or interlaced, I should say. Or you're welcome to bend your knees and to reach back for your feet or your ankles and to come in a Dhanurasana or bow pose. If you're going with our third variation, which I'll cue here, draw your knees in towards parallel. Take a breath in. And then with an exhale, whichever variation you're choosing, come on into your back bend. In Dhanurasana, your feet will press back. That will help lift your chest open. You're welcome to rock if that feels good. And to take a few moments to just experience this opening. A few more breaths. Keep going. Stay right with yourself. With your next breath, with an exhale, release back down again. Slowly, head can come back to the side, right ear to the earth. And this time you may want to windshield wiper your legs back and forth. Releasing your low back and your hips. And finding your way to center. Hands can come beneath your shoulders. And we're going to press back into child's pose. So in child's pose, our knees open wide. And then our chest or our heart can come down between our legs with our hands to the earth. If this isn't comfortable in your body, there are lots of other variations we can choose here. One is you could place a blanket between your legs and your buttocks, which creates a little bit more support. Another option is to sit back on your knees with your legs underneath you. Another option to release your back here is to even come onto your side. You can get that same position of your body curling in on your side. So find your way to release from those back bends and to feel your body kind of curled in towards itself. A few rounds of breath here. Returning to the earth, returning to yourself. Inviting full presence into this moment that we're in. Noticing what's happening now. And very gently, we're going to roll back up here. And as we do, we're going to bring our feet out in front of us. And we're going to work in our hips a little bit here. So you can bring your left leg towards parallel, and your right leg will either stack over your left or your legs will cross. So feel into what's right in your body. If your leg stacks, you can flex your right foot. This will support your knee. And then we're going to gently walk our hands forward just a bit. We're going to come into a forward fold here. Just feel what's happening in our hips. And once you come to that edge, you can pause and just send your breath right into where you're feeling the sensation. Breathing as you deepen. And again, feeling into that edge. You're also welcome to use a block. This can be a great support. If you want to round down and you want your head to lean on something, your forehead can even rest on that block into more of a restorative position. Each exhale is just another invitation here for deepening in. Another few breaths. And very gently, we will come back up. And then we're going to bring the right foot towards the ground and coming into a twist. You can keep your right leg bent or you're welcome to extend it. See what feels best for you. Either way works just as well. From here, bring your right fingertips to the earth. Let your left arm come up. And then we'll come into a twist. Left elbow will come towards the outside of the right leg. And inhale again, we find length. Then exhale, deepening in. Gazing over your right shoulder. Few rounds of breath. And integrating all that we've experienced so far. Another breath in. And with an exhale, we'll come out. And from here, we're going to switch out our legs. You can open your legs. And then we're going to stack left leg over right. We're going to find the hip opener once again. And you can keep your legs stacked or you can cross your legs. Whichever variation you choose. Finding length in your spine. You can have your block nearby. And then walking your hands forward slowly with your spine long. And then going deep into your hips. Hips are a place that we can hold our undigested experiences. Place of not only tension, but that we can hold kind of life's past traumas or even grief itself. I invite you just to go into the sensation in your body here. And to lean in towards it and to meet it as lovingly as you can. Whatever it is that you feel is okay. Another few breaths. Again, you can use your block if you want to drop your head on something, give yourself a little more support. A few more breaths. And then gently we'll come back out again. You can now take your right foot and cross it over your body. So you're going to cross left leg over right, and then right leg can either stay bent or you can extend your right leg. So see which variation works for you. Left hand will come to the earth. Right arm will rise up, and then we'll make that twist this time to the left. Left elbow outside of right knee. Make the twist. Looking over your left shoulder. And perhaps noticing how this twist may feel similar or different to when we started our practice today. What's shifting and changing inside of you? Through breath, through your breath, through movement. Through meeting yourself where you are. Another few breaths. With an inhale, lengthen, and exhale, we'll untwist again. You can twist towards the other side to release or balance out your spine. And from here, we're going to extend our legs out in front of us. You give your legs a little shake or even a little pat down. You can even kind of wash that off, brush that off. Bringing in a little bit of touch. And then from here, you can draw the flesh back from your sitting bones so they land firmly on the ground. And in a moment, we're going to move into a forward fold. As you do, inhale your arms up. With an exhale, we're going to hinge forward any degree with a flat back. Just letting your spine lengthen, then your hands can come towards the ground. And as we shift forward, you can bend your knees any amount to feel an actual seal of your body with your legs. So your legs, if you want to keep maybe straight, but then your belly doesn't quite meet them, so you can actually bend your knees here. Let your body come into contact with itself. So this forward fold is not only to open our hamstrings and our low back, but it's to feel into this connection or this container that we have with ourselves, and that is so important while we're grieving. A place that feels safe, and a place that we can remember where home is inside of us. So in this forward fold, go in and feel. Again, bending your knees as much as you need to. And breathing with that sensation. Breathing with whatever feeling has arisen here. You're also welcome to put a blanket there between your chest and your thighs if you need a little more support. Next breath, we're going to inhale, come up, and as you do, notice the sensation of kind of leaving that little cocoon, knowing you can return to it anytime. Hands come down through your heart and back to the earth. And from here, you can bend your knees and you can come all the way onto your back. So you come onto your back, feet are on the ground. And draw your knees in towards your chest and take a few little circles of your low back on the ground, moving your knees in one direction, the other, almost like drawing a circle on the ceiling with your knees. So your low back gets a little massage here. Just a little bit of gentle movement back and forth. And then bringing your feet back towards the ground. Soles of your feet are on the ground, and letting your arms come down by your side and just taking a few moments to rock your pelvis back and forth. Rocking your pelvis, lifting it up and then arching your back so it roots down, and just noticing the way your whole back body undulates with this movement. Again, it's almost like giving yourself a little massage. And with the next time your pelvis lifts up, we're going to come all the way up into bridge pose, where you can keep your hands either on the ground, your feet are on the earth, your knees are tracking over your ankles and drawing in towards your midline. You can interlace your hands behind your back and rock up onto your shoulders if you want a little bit of a deeper expression. You're also welcome to take your block, if you have it handy, and to place it underneath your sacrum, to let your sacrum just rest on the block in more of a restorative variation. So see if you're feeling like you want to work more actively, or if more of a restorative variation is needed. Whichever you choose, take a few moments to breathe. If you're working restoratively, you can just stay put for a few rounds. We're going to take a few rounds here. If you are working actively, you can slowly roll back down, one vertebrae at a time. And feeling the way your body releases back to the earth, every sensation, every moment. And then let your knees come to rest in towards each other. Your feet can come a little wider into restorative rest. You can place your hands on your body and receive your touch, receiving your own touch here. And we'll take one more round. If you're working actively, you can bring your feet to hip distance apart again. Your feet will come in close enough to your body that your fingertips can just kind of brush your heels here. And then as you're ready, you can lift your hips and your pelvis up again. You can interlace your hands and rock up onto your shoulders. And finding a few breaths here to come into this posture of expansion. And as part of the practice, we get to open to whatever it is that's available to us, whether it be gratitude or light or perhaps hope or just a sense of okayness. You get to open to whatever it is that's possible. And if it's not what's there, it's sometimes what we can even imagine it may be. An opening to the light and an invitation for light to come into us as well. A few more breaths. And with an exhale, we'll round back down again, nice and slow. If you're using the block, you can remove the block now and also lower to the ground. And this time, bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees come out into Supta Baddha Konasana. And your left hand, or one hand, I should say, should come to your heart and the other hand to your belly. And taking a moment here to receive. Receive the healing that is in your own hands. Receive the healing that comes through your presence with yourself. Just another breath or two here. As we prepare to come out, you can bring your hands to your thighs, help draw them together, almost closing them like a book, and then drawing your knees back in towards your chest. Squeeze your knees in. Exhale, head to knees. Inhale your head down. Exhale, let your knees float up again. This time, let's draw left knee in, right leg will extend long. Drawing it in again, we'll find wind reliever. Exhale, head to knee. Inhale your head down. And then exhale, you can take a few moments to let your arms come wide and let your left hip come into some big circles. As we begin to cool down here, just again checking in different places in our body, finding curiosity. The next time your leg comes around in this hip circle, we'll find our way all the way into a twist. Left knee can come towards the earth or to a block. Left shoulder will keep you rooted into this twist as you gaze over your left fingertips. Palm can face up. And taking a few breaths to just really land in this twist. In this time of integration. Integrating all that you felt or thought or experienced this morning. Letting it land here in your body. Gently, with your next breath, we'll come back out. Let your left knee make another big hip circle here as it returns to the earth. Draw both knees in again. This time your left leg extends long, right knee deepens in. Inhale, draw a right knee, a right thigh in towards your body. Exhale your head towards your knee. Inhale your head down. And exhale, let your right knee float up. Let your arms come out to that wide T. And then making again these hip circles. Finding a little bit of movement, a little bit of exploration. And as you're ready, drawing your right knee across your body now towards the left. Right shoulder keeps you rooted as you look over your right fingertips. Finding your way in towards twist. Few breaths here. Integrating this side of your body. Integrating your practice today. The next breath will very gently come out again. Letting your right knee open, wide. Coming back to the ground and perhaps taking one last squeeze. If there's any final movement your body is craving, please do that now. Wise, one last squeeze into a ball here, squeezing your body in and then releasing into our final Shavasana. Letting your back body be fully supported by the earth. Letting your feet roll out. Letting your arms open as wide as it's comfortable with your palms facing up. And noticing the way that your back body can rest in and even match the natural curves of the earth beneath you. Allowing yourself to be truly held here and supported. And close your eyes. And you can begin to let yourself sink into deeper relaxation. Letting every muscle of your body soften. Letting yourself go down that gentle stream of relaxation. Letting go. And continuing into this time of relaxation. There's nothing to do, there's nowhere to be. It's your time to restore. Letting your breath be your guide. beginning to bring your breath and your awareness back into your body. Bring a little movement into your fingers and your toes. And just very gently beginning to reawaken here. As you take your time, maybe rolling onto one side to a fetal position, pausing there. I invite you to move slow enough that you can really feel the experience of kind of coming back into this moment. And taking your whole practice with you. And gently find your way back towards seated. As you come into a seated position, we're going to close with one last integration meditation. So finding your way, taking your time, making yourself cozy. And you can close your eyes one last time. And as you do, I invite you to reflect back over your practice here today. All that you noticed beginning in your meditation, as you checked in with yourself, your body, emotions, your thoughts, your spirit. And as you moved your body in our asana today, and out of all that you noticed, what stands out here the most? What feels the most significant to you right now? And as you sit with this awareness, notice how this is showing up in your life. How does your experience on your mat translate into your life? What is the connection? And taking a breath or two with that. With each breath, we just simply acknowledge our own truth. Now I invite you to go into your body, to the great wise temple that is your body, and to make contact with that part of your being that is wise and all-knowing. Place of compassion, place of truth, place of maybe patience, curiosity, place that holds your self-love and maybe the collective love as well. And I invite you to bring your hands to this place inside and to really make contact with this place. Find where this lives inside of you and to go in there with your hands, your touch, or maybe just inside with your awareness. And take a moment of breath. Just know that, to feel that. And if this place inside could offer you just a little bit of guidance or wisdom today along your journey, what would it say? And taking a moment or a breath with that awareness, with that truth. And take a falling out breath into that as you're ready. Another moment here to now acknowledge yourself for the big, brave work of showing up, being willing to look inside, being willing to feel. It's courage to do that, and being willing to do so in community. So acknowledge all that you are here in this moment. And I acknowledge each and every one of you too for being a part of this community, for sharing your light, your presence with each other through our practice. And we'll close today by bringing our hands to the space in front of our hearts. And in this mudra, it's truly an offering. It's an offering of our devotion, of our love. It is a symbol of peace. And we offer this Om in a moment, which we'll chant together, first to ourselves, and then to each other. And then we will let it extend down all directions to touch everyone and anyone in need of connection and healing in their lives. So let's exhale down into the earth. Let all your breath come out, emptying. Take a deep breath in. So much love and gratitude. Namaste.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you.
What a beautiful practice, and what an honor to have you opening for us this weekend. It is really, really special to have you here. So thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Before we take a brief break, at the end of each session, I am going to open up the chat box again to get a word or phrase that came up for you in this practice, maybe the intention that you set or what stood out to you the most. If you'd like to do that, feel free to, so we can all connect here in this space. In the meantime, I'm going to share Wendy's contact information in the chat box as well. This can also be found in the session notes in the main lobby, so that will be accessible at all times. And you can also find them on GSN's website. We do have about a 20-minute break here before our next session with Nancy, our workshop on creating a grief altar. So please take this time to go and nourish yourselves, drink some water, use the restroom, maybe get outside for a few moments, really take in that beautiful practice that you just experienced with Wendy. Maybe journal if that feels like that would be an appropriate time for you right now. And we will all join back together here at 11 a.m. Mountain for Nancy's workshop. And thank you again, Wendy. We'll see you this afternoon.
Thanks, everyone. Take good care. I'll see you soon.